Is it just me, or has there been like a sudden influx of like YouTubers talking about how they don't dream of labor? And doesn't it feel like it comes from a place of privilege, and like it doesn't really solve the issue of capitalism? Hi everyone, my name is Rakaya. If you follow me on Instagram, you may know me as a sex educator. I also speak about society and culture. If you subscribe to this channel, you can expect a lot of content on the topics that I just mentioned. So let's get into it. I'm going to be discussing this whole "I don't dream of labor" rhetoric. Judging by the title and what I said in the beginning, I'm guessing you're expecting me to argue against the whole thing about "I don't dream of labor." Instead, I'm actually going to provide a really balanced opinion. At least I hope it's balanced. So let's begin. So I actually feel two ways about it. For the most part, I do agree. I don't dream of labor either. I don't dream of slaving my life away, working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks just to make income. Who would want to do that? It's not fulfilling for me. It actually scares me. This idea of placing all of your value in your productivity stems from grind culture, and grind culture is rooted in capitalism. In modern society, productivity and labor are highly valuable. Businesses are all about profit. Ever since the Industrial Revolution and the rise of capitalism, businesses tend to run on a similar module of the more productive your workforce, the more profit you make. And it's true. And that is why labor is so valuable and it's so crucial to the success of a business. And so we are essentially socialized into adopting this kind of work ethic when it comes to productivity. From the moment that we enter school, college, or high school for people in the States, university, it's all centered around prepping us to enter into the workforce so that we can essentially generate more profit for businesses. And some people will say, well, not all of us enter the workforce to become slaves. Some of us become CEOs. Okay, before I continue, I'm not saying that 9-to-5s are bad. Please, 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 please. Work is work. No matter what you do in this life, you can fall victim to the chains of grind culture, whether you are a 9-to-5er, whether you are a laborer, whether you are an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter what you do, you can still fall victim to the chains of grind culture. And to be honest, entrepreneurs are the worst when it comes to that whole rise and grind, hustle hard, you know. Entrepreneurs are the worst when it comes to that stuff. You guys are literally slaves to the grind. Like, it's actually unbearable. And this pressure to just work is why we always feel like we're never doing enough. It puts you in a state of constantly questioning yourself. Even when you're doing a lot, you still feel like you could be doing more. You also experience feelings of inadequacy, and time just never feels like it's on your side. Like, it always just feels like there's not enough time in the day. It's honestly a vicious cycle, which is why I completely understand why people are now choosing to resist it. Also, I will be doing a video on grind culture, exploring its roots in capitalism, and also I want to go into the whole hikikomori phenomena that's happening right now in Japan. So subscribe. But yes, like I said, I understand why people are choosing to resist it. But then a part of me also feels like, is resistance a form of privilege? Like, if other parts of the world came across some of these video contents, or they overheard these conversations of people talking about how they don't dream of labor, they would get a culture shock. Most people can't even dream of not dreaming of labor. Most people don't have that choice. Like, I'm seeing all of these videos and I'm not gonna lie, like, it just feels like the people who are making these videos are coming from a place of privilege. You know, you're talking about "I don't dream of labor," but you've got like a designer bag in your hand. You know what I mean? It feels like it comes from a place of privilege. And it makes me feel really bad for saying that I don't dream of labor, because yeah, for most people, work is mandatory. I almost feel kind of like guilty for even feeling this way. Sorry, I just wanted to provide clarification, because what I just said sounds like I come from a place of privilege. I don't come from a place of privilege. I'm working class. I've always been working class. I've lived my whole life on a council estate, but my current living and work situation is very unique in comparison to other working class people that I know. I'm also currently a student. So what I said about I have no desire to labour and stuff, it's me thinking about the future when I finish my degree and stuff. Like, I'm I'm quite scared of entering the workforce and, you know, I guess labouring for the rest of my life. So I hope this makes sense. But then again, I also think, isn't this just a knee-jerk reaction to capitalism and the effects of modernity? For those who don't know what modernity is, I will briefly explain it. Everyone has their own different interpretations, but my own basic definition is modernity is like a symbol of change and progress within society, specifically Western society. It's like an era in society. And the key markers of this era, or the key characteristics of modernity, are industrialism, secularism, the rise of science, colonialism, the rise of technology, the end of monarchies, and of course capitalism, amongst many others. It basically marks the period of the modernization of Western society. So maybe this reaction that we're seeing is literally modern society truly feeling the effects of becoming modern. And it makes sense, because the people who are expressing their disdain for labor and work are people who reside in the part of the world where modernity was first observed. Hi everyone, I know that I said that how the only people that are expressing their disdain for work and labour reside in the West, but that's not true, because I remember I saw somebody from Singapore who also expressed their disdain for it. But it makes sense, because in the past 50 years, Singapore has experienced rapid economic growth, and progress in that society has been fast, like really, really, really fast. So that doesn't surprise me. So I just wanted to quickly say that, because I thought that would be interesting to put in this, and also just to clarify my previous words. But the thing about this resistance is that it doesn't change anything. Individuals choosing to divest from work and labor, it doesn't get rid of the root of the problem. It doesn't dismantle capitalism. It doesn't dismantle the system that put you in that position in the first place. But let me be real with you guys. My worldview is very nihilistic and pessimistic, so I don't really care for dismantling capitalism. I know it sounds really bad, but I genuinely have no hope for the future. And I'm not even saying this in like a negative way, because even though I don't have any hope, it's not like something that I'm depressed about or that gets me down. I used to be depressed about these things, but my journey towards embracing the absurd it's been something. And if you subscribe to my channel, I will be slowly releasing more videos, more opinions and deep dives and video essays where you will begin to understand my worldview and why I think like this. So I know it sounds crazy now, but I guarantee you, like 2 months from now, 3 months from now, you will actually understand where I'm coming from and where these feelings come from and why this is my stance. Capitalism isn't going anywhere in our lifetime. I don't think it will go anywhere in my children's lifetime. Like, this economic system, like, it's an economic system, but it has encroached so many aspects of our lives. I don't think it's going anywhere. And people will say, well, so what? Like, if we all team up together, you know, imagine if all of us had your kind of stance. Imagine if all of us just didn't care and just said, you know what, capitalism isn't going anywhere anyways, so I ain't gonna bother to fight it. Number one, I have the choice to not engage in the fight. even though I don't have a desire to fight it, I can still critique it because I am pretty much against it. And number two, I'm sorry, but I don't see a collective consciousness on the side that is supposed to be fighting against the system. And I'm talking about the left. I don't see a collective consciousness amongst the left. The left is supposed to be finding solutions together, fighting together. But instead, everyone is so caught up in things that don't really matter when you think about the bigger picture. Because for me, I believe that capitalism is the root of so many of our modern problems today. And until you get to the root of the issue, you're just going to continue to bicker amongst yourselves while the rich continue to get rich. And by bickering amongst yourselves, by that divide that I'm seeing right now, which is being perpetuated by identity politics, you are subconsciously upholding the systems that keep you enslaved. So until I see any form of collective consciousness on the side that is meant to be fighting the system, I don't have any hope. I have no hope. In this lifetime, liberation is just a pure myth. So yeah, the I don't dream of labor rhetoric has no effect on the outside world, but in terms of your life, it has an effect on the quality of your said life. It definitely has an effect on how you experience the world. Yeah, I'm not mad at people for choosing the individual. I'm not mad at people choosing solutions for themselves, even though it won't get rid of this system. Like I said, I don't think the system is going anywhere. Because the system isn't going anywhere, all you can really do is choose to find ways to survive within it. And that is what I'm seeing with this whole I don't dream of labor rhetoric. People are just finding ways to survive within this system. I also see this resistance through the rise of aesthetics amongst Gen Z and millennials, and also the rise of like nostalgia. Like Gen Z and millennials are very nostalgic. So like aesthetics like cottagecore, fairycore, dark academia, and the rise of like historical fashion. I definitely feel like this is also a form of resistance where people are just choosing to find ways to survive within the system through escapism. It's also like a knee-jerk reaction to the effects of capitalism and modernity. So yeah, it may sound privileged, but I just feel like the majority of modern society is just burnt out and fed up with their quality of life. And that is why the I don't dream of labor rhetoric is actually very valid in my opinion. And I won't be surprised if more and more people continue to divest from grind culture in the near future. Okay, so that's all everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I gave a balanced opinion on things. And like I said, I know what I said about not caring about dismantling capitalism and not being a radical, because I'm not radical. I exist in the grey area. I'm grey-pilled. And as time goes on, like I said, I will reveal these things more and more, because I don't feel like I'm giving you like the full scope. So just actually give me a chance and subscribe. And in the coming few months, you will begin to understand a lot more where I'm coming from. So follow me on Instagram if you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm hella active on Instagram. And yeah, that's it. Bye.